Sorry, we are ready to call the meeting to order at 5:02 p.m. Go. So first order of business is our roll call. Proceed with that. Do we need to do it one by one, or? Okay, so looks as though we have 5 commissioners present, and Commissioner Abraham and Commissioner Fox are absent tonight. So if we could go ahead and stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance, if you'd like. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. So we have no agenda item number 4, we have no special presentations or proclamations. Oral communications number 5, I don't believe we have any speakers. No speakers. So changes to the agenda, I believe we also do not have any of those. Moving on down the list. So number 7, approval of the minutes. Everybody have a chance to check out the minutes from last meeting. Any comments or?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I brought it to your attention before, but I was wondering, there was not a link to the amendments for the work plan. So I just wanted to make sure that my notes were correct with that. So that was missing. And
A link to the, you mean the additions, like the ad hocs?
Yeah, the ad hocs.
Like mm-hmm. Yeah. Is that something that's normally included in the minutes?
It's not usually included in the minutes, but I can email all of you the most recent copy of the work plan that's got the updated ad hoc.
That would be
members.
great.
Sure, I can get that for you this week.
Okay, great.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I noticed or remember that there's a couple possible vacancies. I was wondering if we might fill those today or something, or maybe we should wait.
It is not on tonight's agenda.
Okay, right.
Okay. So we should put it on the agenda to, do we know, if we're adding to ad hocs, that doesn't need to be an agenda item though, right? So,
When you are working on the work plan
yeah.
outside of existing ad hocs, those kinds of decisions do need to be made at a public meeting.
Right.
So the existing ones, you can continue to do
Mm-hmm.
your committee work, but any kind of additions need to happen at a public meeting.
Okay. So
And your next scheduled one is your regular meeting in August.
Right. So if we want to, we can use one of the 2 procedures to add that as an agenda item for August to.
It will already be, your work plan will be
It will be
on your
okay.
August agenda.
As long as Colette's sending us things, can you also send us a roster of staff and the committee so that we are able to be in touch with each other?
Yes, I had sent that. I'm a little concerned you didn't get that, but yes, I will make sure that goes out again. Sure.
Thank you.
And then just make sure in your communications to one another that you are abiding by the Brown Act and not having outside communications, that you're staying within the 3 or less. And if you have any questions about that, please reach out to me before you reach out to more than 3 of each other.
Excuse me, could you change my email address? Somehow, one of my work emails got distributed, so before you send it out, I'll send you the correct address.
That would be great, yes. Let me know which one you'd like to be used.
Should we all do that so that you know you have it?
You should. The information that is on the current distribution is whatever came in with your applications. So if your communication information, your phone number or your email has changed from the application, definitely let me know. Send me that and I'll make sure to get it updated with the clerk as well.
Okay.
Actually, I don't think mine was, I think it was just an email I sent randomly and that got picked up, so. I'll send it.
Okay, does that address, Commissioner Morakovitz, does that address your question, your concern about the?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you for bringing that up. Anybody else have any comments on the minutes or questions? Or we go ahead and, okay, I'll put forth a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay, we vote on that. All right, looks as though the minutes have been approved unanimously. That's good. So, thank you. Moving on to number 8, informational items. So we'll throw it over to Colette and team.
Hello. So I'm going to be really quick. Within the Cultural Arts Division report, I just wanted to give a quick update on AEP 6. The absolute deadline is June 23rd. So we are working on a few more audience surveys, but the really big push is working with any of the arts nonprofits you have connections with to encourage that they get their organizational survey in. If anyone has any questions, if they're having any difficulty, please reach out to me or our staff and we will help them through it. The sculpture applications have gone out for the sculpture on public loan, and the deadline for that is August 11th. And the 2024 visual art applications for the 3 sites, City Hall, Library, and Community Center, are going to be going out in early July for all of the exhibitions in 2024. So I'll have more information for you at your August meeting, but the applications will go out and I will send that link to you so you can share it with artists in the community who may be interested in applying. And that is the end of 8A. Really quickly, I'll go to 8B, which is your calendar. A reminder, you do not have a regular meeting in July, and there's a lot happening in July. The noon concerts continue at the library. This season's last Music by the Sea concert is June 16th. The inaugural Tremonto Music Festival is going to be happening the first week in August. Tickets are on sale for that now. And then our division is doing the Moonlight Summer Sunday concerts, which is 2 in July and 2 in August. They're free, they're on the beach, and we have really amazing acts. So I'm going to make sure to push all that information out to you. And I just ask that you please share as much as you can and look forward to having you volunteer at as many of those things as your time allows. Thank you.
Thank you. A quick question, how's the Tremonto interest looking so far?
It's moving along. We released the tickets not that long ago, and we're working at getting more and more promotion out there. So we had a wave, and then we have more waves. So it's moving along pretty consistently if we compare to prior summer music festivals.
Great, okay.
Can you send us up like a flyer?
Absolutely.
That'd be great, thanks.
All right, thank you. Unless there are any other further questions or comments, we can move on to number 9, the workshop to review mission statement and develop vision statement for the Pacific View Arts Center. So,
Thank you, Chair Aber. I wanted to introduce Rob Dayton. He helped us develop our mission statement a little over a month ago. And we asked him back tonight to help us move along and move into the vision statement. We're really looking to do a short update and just a recap of what we did at our last meeting with Mission and Vision, and then quickly move into the vision statement tonight. We're not going to be taking any action on this item tonight, but we are hoping for consensus amongst the commissioners, so that way we can take a vote at our next meeting in August.
Got it.
So with that, I'll introduce Rob Dayton.
I mean, this is tonight's agenda.
Okay, here we go. So thank you again for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you. And I just got to say that I'm really impressed with the work that you did, because here's the why statement for the center that you established. And just for the benefit of Commissioner Herbert, I want to just cover how you got there and what are the elements, the important elements that you were able to achieve. The first thing is the concept of why do we begin with why? Why is that important? And we talked about the golden circle, Simon Sinek's golden circle, that there's three elements to everything we do. There's a what we do. Everybody knows what we do. This building will serve people and they will come in those. There's going to be a programmatic. That would be the same for every Parks and Rec building in California. That's what it does. So whats are commonly the same, and most people know what their whats are. Hows are a little bit more complicated, and we're going to get into that because vision has everything to do with how we do program. Everything. So we're going to get into how. But we wanted to start with why. Very few people know why they do things. It's the hardest question to answer. In fact, in coaching or teaching, you want to stay away from asking people why. You try to get to, so what do you think about that? Or how is your top of mind on this particular thing? If you ask someone why, a lot of times you get the doggy. They're like, I don't know. How do I answer that question? Some people are very good at answering why, and that's just their forte. That's what they're good at. So we started with the hardest thing first. And the thing that's important about why, and with public process, the reason for starting with why is what's really interesting. Although it's difficult, people really agree with why. They always agree why we're doing stuff. That's the easiest way to get agreement. And once you have a why, it will shape the how. It will shape our vision for this building will be shaped by our why, that thing that we agree with. And when you come up with a why, the more powerful whys are less words. And less words means that you need precise words that really embody the reasoning, in this case, for a building. And you came up with, so the gold standard is 8. I generally don't let people go more than 10 words. This is the gold standard. This is less than 8 words. Empower the community to cultivate artistic expression. Empower the community to cultivate artistic expressions. And how we came up with this, how they came up with this is we talked about, like, what are your stories? And we had all these members of the public talk about their stories and how buildings had transformed their lives. People were talking about, hey, I went to this program and now I'm doing this. It changed the course and direction of my life. They were very powerful stories. And then what we did is we said, okay, well, what is the common thread of all these stories? What links the stories and becomes the reason for this building? And so it's got kind of 2 elements linked by the word "to" in the middle. We empower community. This building's going to empower community. That was the strongest thread between those stories. And then the outcome is it's going to cultivate artistic expression. And this together becomes the reason for the building. And everyone's like, I think Commissioner Campbell was like, how's this end? How do we land this plane? I don't even get it. I'm like, hold on, let's just take it. We'll get there, because I see it so many times. Groups are like, I don't think we can get there. And then all of a sudden, someone says it, and I think it was actually Commissioner Campbell who said the words, and it was like, that's it. That's it. And so very, very powerful, something that's memorable, easy to remember. And again, the way we use this is it becomes the guiding light. It becomes instruction to how then our next conversation, what's the vision? What's the how for this building? So I think that's where I'll stop. and maybe other commissioners want to comment about the why statement they've come up with and why they like it or appreciate it. And then maybe Commissioner Herbert, you could comment on what does it mean to you based on maybe some of the experiences you've had.
That sounds great. Thank you very much. I'm going to really mess with you. It's pronounced A-bear, so
Sorry.
that's okay. It's
A-bear.
yeah,
A-bear.
yeah. I know. Even I can't remember. So
Thank you so much.
I know you were hoping for them to speak, but I just want to jump in really quickly because one thing I love about this wording is the word cultivate, and it sort of for me pings off of Encinitas being the flower capital, and cultivate is such a great word for putting in the work to make things grow and blossom. So yeah, it's nicely done. Anyway, so I know you've all seen more of this than I have, so I'd love to
We
hear your
just go
thoughts.
down the line, or?
Sure, and if everybody has, I think that sounds great.
Well, I like it. I was the one that came up with it, so I like it. But, I think it was definitely a collaborative approach, and that we were trying to look at a lot of people's choices of words and eliminate, make it a sense of community, but not have it, go so far, and at least as far as I didn't want it to put any shackles on you that we would have to produce something like to innovate I didn't want to say you have to innovate as an art center. So I think, we had a nice compromise and discussion.
I love the creative process that happened. This was the first time I've read about this process, but this was the first time I was actively involved in something like this. So I think it's wonderful, and I just love the dynamics of how people work together. And I think while we were building a mission statement, I got to know the commissioners quite well. So that was nice of what their core beliefs about art were or were not. So that it was good for me to learn about the other commissioners through this process, actually.
Yeah, I thought it was wonderful. It was really fun and exciting. And at one point I was like, okay, this is the making the sausage part where it's like, ick.
Messy.
Where are we going? What is all, just like, can't I just go home? But I thought it was great too, because I got to be with the 3 new commissioners. And I was just so impressed the way we all pulled together. But it's really not surprising, because we're all in the creative arts. One way or another, we're in the creative arts. And so we're used to dealing with this kind of process. And that's why I think this is so important, because you have to have a clear intention about what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're replanting your garden or, deciding what color to paint your living room. Whatever you're doing, if you want it to be successful, you have to have a clear idea of what you're doing. And empowering the community to cultivate artistic expression has to go to the very beginning of why we're putting all the time and effort into restoring that building. So that we have to empower the city council and everybody who's working on making this happen, everybody who's in town or anywhere near Encinitas that wants to be a part of it. If we don't have a clear focus on what it is we're doing, a clear intention, we're just making noise, and we're not creating anything for people to follow or become a part of. So that's why I like it. Every time I read it, I like it. So thank you for leading us through it.
I love everyone's comments. I really appreciated the whole experience too, and I felt the energy in the room with our fellow citizens, and you were terrific that you brought out the energy from different angles of the room. And at one point I felt like I was just like really digging deep into my brain. And you were drawing it out. I could tell you were just like pulling it out. And at times it was like a little frustrating because I felt like I wanted to get out of like a thesaurus or something and pull out my phone or something. But the stories and everyone's, that was very impactful because that's going to be Encinitas's really special place, and we need to do that and honor that. And the words like empower, that's a really extremely strong word. It's a great deal of strength. And thinking about like, I appreciate what you said about the why. As a teacher, I have to. I've been reminded many times, and it's also I remind myself. And I have on the board the learning intentions, and actually you better have it up because if the principal walks in, you know. So the learning intentions. What am I learning today? Why am I learning this? And how will I know if I'm not, you know? So I appreciate that, the whole process, because it relates, and also adults, a lot of us are adults, you know, in regards to andragogy, which is, you know, the study of or how adults learn, which is different from pedagogy, and we want to know why. We want to know why for everything. So to come out with that first thing, that's what we want as adults, especially. We want the why. Thanks for helping us.
Awesome. So yeah, and I appreciate the thankfulness, and I did feel your pain. It was, and I've been through it so many times when you're like, is this gonna work? And it's like feels so frustrating. And then when you get to the finish line, it's like, we did it, and you did it. So congratulations. It's a very well done, very well crafted, and it's powerful. It's one of the more powerful ones I've seen. So congratulations. And I know we can't vote on it tonight because of the agenda. But let's move on to, if it's okay, let's move on to the vision. Now, the way we think about the vision is how we're going to get to our why. So we know what we do. We program a building, and we're doing arts, and buildings across California will have the same what. But how is a little different. And visions we're not there yet. They're more aspirational. They're things we want to become. And so to give you a couple examples. So Southwest Airline, their why is all about on-time service. You know, we get people there on time, that kind of thing. I know they've fallen down quite a bit recently. But so their vision of how they're going to get to that on-time service really differentiates them from any other airline. And I don't know if you know this, but they only have one type of plane. And the reason why that matters and why that's important is they don't have to look at, they don't need a pilot for a plane. Every pilot knows their plane across the whole thing. The mechanics are only fixing one type of plane. When they need parts, there's only one type of plane to fulfill the parts. And all this plays into on-time service. This decision to only have the one plane. Now there's a compromise too. Like if you're doing a short leg, you know, you'll notice some airlines will have a smaller plane because they're not going to get as much demand. So Southwest says, we don't care if the plane is half full, it will be on time. And we get there, our vision is a fleet of planes that are the same, with the same skills and pilots and the same mechanics and the same parts. And that's their vision for an on-time service. I'll give you another example. This is City of Santa Barbara Public Works Department. So their why statement, they provide the foundation for the community to thrive. And as a public works department, right, if the roads aren't working, if the sewer's backed up, if the water doesn't turn on, Everyone, everyone knows. So another one was, we're at our best when you don't notice. So they provide the foundation for the community to thrive. Now their vision, in order, how do they get there? How do they become very good at being the foundation for the community to thrive? And this is their vision statement. We believe in, you state it as though it is, even though it might not be. We are a unified department that coordinates and collaborates well and earns the trust and high regard of the community. That's their vision. When you state a vision, you're saying, hey, we might not quite be there yet, but this is how we see ourselves. And if we do these things, if we're a unified department across different divisions, in other words, water and sewer talks to the road guy, and vice versa, and we coordinate and collaborate well with other departments, and we earn the trust and high regard of the community, we're confident we will be the foundation for the community to thrive. That's what they're saying. It's how they get to their why. Does that make sense to you? Any questions about that? Curiosities? Did I give enough examples?
Can you go back to I was curious because you were mentioning the Southwest example.
Yeah.
And you mentioned kind of that philosophy, but what is their, boiled down, what is their kind of why statement, their vision statement? I don't know if you mentioned.
It's
what that is,
on-time
or is it-
service. I'm forgetting the exact words, but
Okay.
it was all about
Yeah.
their in service for on-time service. Let me give you another example that might be better for you. Apple computers. So their original why was think different. And the reason that's a great one is that Dell will brag all day long about we have the fastest chips, we have the fastest processors, we have the most memory, all these parts. They talk about their what. They don't talk about their how. So when Dell Computers said, we're going to do flat screen televisions, everyone's like, no, we don't. You're a computer company. We don't buy that. But Apple dropped, it used to be Apple Computer. They dropped computer, and because their why is we think differently, people are like, we're going to make a little device where you can listen to all your music. Oh. We're going to make a watch. Oh. Everyone's like, can't wait to see it. They even said at one point they were going to do a car. They never did, but people are like, can't wait to drive the Apple car. and think different is really why they're so successful. Because they didn't they didn't talk about their what, they talk about why they do things. And people always buy why you do it. Their vision is innovation. We're going to take our why to any kind of lane. It's not just computers. So their vision is really an unbridled workforce that's free to think of the next thing that's going to be transformative.
Yeah, thank you. I ask because it seems as though the key task here is, or one of them is really making sure that the two statements are differentiated enough. And, as I kind of play around with some wording or ideas, that's just trying to find a way to make sure it's saying something that's not what the vision statement is already saying is.
Not a repeat.
Yeah.
It's something that we want to aspire to, and it's how we're going to how this building is going to perform. So how we get there, and we'll take some notes. Somebody's going to be taking notes. We're just going to brainstorm first. Yeah. Question. Yeah, please.
What kind of, we started with empower, a really strong word.
Yeah.
So would it behoove to have a verb as well?
For a vision, yeah. They're usually
To start off with a verb?
They're usually verbs, yeah. Like,
Okay.
or they describe how we're going to behave. So you might describe a behavioral word. Think different. The behavior was innovation. We're going to be innovative. We're going to, they've designed everything, even their building that they're housed at is so radically different in the way it orients their thinking. They've just taken all boundaries away. Their vision is just, there's no boundaries. So when you think of empower the community to cultivate artistic expression, can you picture something, an aspirational thing of how we would do that without getting to a what? You know you've crossed the line when you get to a what it is. What is important? Like for instance, one of my clients, their why includes the best for their city, and their how includes fun. Like it's really different from any other city. Like this city is all about fun. And if you aren't going to be fun, you should not work there. We think like the common denominators of expectation for vision are integrity, honesty, excellence, competence. Those are all pay to play. In other words, we don't write them down because our expectation is you're going to be that. In other words, you can't have this building if you don't bring that, right? We want to think of the things that are unusual or differentiate us from other arts establishments. This why people will not come up with this why because this is rooted to your stories. Your how is also very distinguished. And so this city where people come to work and employees, like fun is something, if you don't have fun, it's not going to work out because we're not going to get the best for our city if we're not having fun doing it. It was very strange, different, and really works for them. So they had a vision and there were two other things, but fun was the one that was like, wow, that's different. I've never heard that before in a city with people working. So your vision for this space is really going to tell you how we get to the opportunity to empower the community to cultivate artistic expression. So let's come up with some ideas. Can you think of an idea that might be a good how?
I just had a thought go through because what is unique about Pacific View is it's in an old school.
Okay.
It's a way of thinking, right?
I love it. So how would you say
So
that?
what came to me is unique experiences in an old school.
Unique experiences in old school. So we'll put that up there.
It's not quite what I really want to say, but that's what came.
We'll figure it out. But unique experiences is a good how, because unique experiences, if that's our vision, that will get us to our why, I think. Unique experiences.
Well, I want to not say we're going to have art classes and music classes and dancing classes.
That's a what?
That's like, it needs to be, we're talking about a space where people can be innovative and creative, not scheduled.
Right.
We need to have spaces where people can just be, whatever happens, happens. Because that's like when we were making the sausage. We had to get into that place where it was messy and mixed up before we had the clarity.
What are the words for whatever happens? What's the adjective for that or verb?
Happenstance.
Happenstance. Let's just put that down. Happenstance. We're just putting stuff up there and we're going to choose later. What else?
Just picking up what Kathleen was saying about what's unique about this facility, and obviously the school is important. It's in, view is in the name, Pacific View. It's got this incredible view of the Pacific, and it makes me think about something like, a view to the future of the arts, or
Oh, wow.
something that talks about a broad
view to the
horizon.
future of the arts. A view to the future of the arts.
Yeah.
Or is that inspirational?
Inspirational and aspirational, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one's stronger for you in terms of a how?
Probably, I would say inspirational. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
Inspirational.
A view to inspiration, or
Okay.
yeah.
We can add that, a view to inspiration.
Aspiration is a stronger verb, isn't it?
Aspiration? Mm-hmm.
And we can add that up there too. So aspiration, view to aspiration.
I was thinking about what Kathleen said about the school, the building. Well, it's not a school anymore, but the many people that were at the audience they were teachers and students there and everything. I think it'd be maybe honoring the past honoring the cultural past or something with honor.
Okay.
Honoring the past and embracing the future.
Honoring the past, embracing the future.
A couple adjectives need to be put in there.
Great.
In between there, but.
Great visionary language.
When you talk about verbs, I kind of like engage, the idea of engaging the public and
Engaging the public.
engaging the public and artists in, because it sort of speaks to the getting people to buy into it, which is kind of key to this, I would think. So
Okay, I love it.
And we want this to be a place where people who are not familiar with the creative process can come and learn how to be comfortable and function in the creative process.
Okay, so how would you phrase that? Learning
I
in
have
the
no
creative
idea.
space? Creative learning?
An open space,
Open to creative learning? Openness to creative learning?
Open to creative learning, or development even. Experience.
Okay.
Now, how many phrases are we going to have? Could we have multiple?
Yeah, well,
We
yeah.
have,
So
like,
we're
4 or
here's-
5 eventually?
Let me give you a vision for how we're going to land the plane. Okay, so
Okay.
you come up with a lot of these. Let's get them out there. Let's brainstorm. Nothing's wrong. Everything's right. Let's just put it out there. And then what we'll do is we'll come back and see which ones feel the strongest now that you've got them out there. Probably the most we're going to do is 3. We'll try to cast that as a vision. It's got to be memorable. You don't have to memorize the vision. It would be helpful if you could, but it can have more words than your why.
And also, I was just wondering, the overall picture with the statement, the why statement, and the how, the vision statement. Will this go into like a master plan?
It could.
Like
Could be the preamble.
Some kind of, preamble, that's a good word.
Yeah.
Is that the plan? Is there going to be like a brochure or something?
It will likely be in a lot of our marketing materials, and then also when we come up with a guide or a program guide, it'll definitely be in there.
Okay.
If we get to the point of doing a master plan or revisiting the master plan, that would be something that we could also include in there as well.
Okay, thanks.
You want these things to guide your what. You know your what's on the right course if it meets your why and how, your vision.
just to clarify, you were talking about the 3 statements. Are you saying that those could all be part of the final vision statement?
Of a
or-
final vision, yeah.
Those aren't, okay. Those aren't, we don't, it's not like we narrow it down to 3 and then pick one of them, and they can actually all be.
Yeah, we can find an elegant way to phrase it. I mean, if you get 2, all the better. But 3, I think is a really,
Yeah.
as long as they're strongly unique and not pay to play, they really guide you to your why.
When I think of art and Encinitas, and I'm the newest resident here of all the people, but the reason I came here was because of the people that came before, way before, the Beatles and Ravi Shankar and SRF, and these people that made Encinitas into this almost a place of inquiry into authenticity. That's what I see Encinitas as, through art, through meditation, through yoga, through botanic expression. But I almost see the Pacific Center as encouraging a pathless inquiry, or a place where change makers can come. The people that are going to inquire deeply into themselves and into society. So almost,
All 3 of those are great.
yeah, so they're not, I don't want to use the word renegades because it's a very strong word for an art center, but definitely the encouraging people to be the change makers through an inquiry into their own authentic expression. And I remember people that
The
came,
people becoming change makers.
the citizens that came at the library,
Uh-huh.
they were all so varied. They talked about games, and they talked about arts, they talked about poetry, and they talked about just expression. But then they all talked about what was true for them. not the person sitting next to them.
How about expressing oneself?
Yeah.
Expressing
Or
oneself.
just, I love the word authentic expression.
Oh, authentic expression.
Yeah.
Authentic expression is powerful.
Yeah, so maybe a place that
And
really
and
makes
those
this
all sound to
possible.
me, and this is where you want to test it, and this is what I'll challenge you to do, is that sounds like a way to empower people to cultivate
That's
artistic
right.
expression.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Be authentically you. Express
Mm-hmm.
your authentic self. Seems like a how, a
Right.
vision to get to that why.
And that sort of stays also away from what we were talking earlier. We don't want to say, oh, there are just art classes or dance classes. And it's just, the reason why we're having these art classes and dance classes is because we want to inquire into something deeper. That's how I see it.
How about just putting it up there, inquiring into something deeper? Just put it up there.
Yeah, I really love those ideas, and I love the examples he used. I think of it as being almost like a spirit of exploration, but that might not be as powerful as what you're talking about. Yeah, exploration and inquiring, those all seem really important.
Do we have exploration? Maybe we should put that one up. Is it up there? Exploration? Okay. Yeah.
Sort of, I don't want to say boundless because that sounds like outgoing, but receptive, like
And what's being receptive?
that this space is receptive
Okay.
to whatever comes to it.
Okay.
It's not limiting, it's open to whatever comes.
So
And
what's a word
as
we
you
could
said,
use?
there are no dumb questions.
Yeah.
It's whatever comes, and we'll deal with that.
So is it receptive of people? Is it receptive of various talents? Is it receptive of,
I would think just whatever comes.
okay, so
Because,
how do you say
it
that?
wasn't that long
Receptive
ago, this was
of-
not a surfing community. People rode horses all over Encinitas. They didn't surf.
receptive of change?
And now we're known as the surfing community. We used to be a flower capital. So we're definitely open for change. But we also have traditions and our own culture that we hold on to.
Maybe we're receptive of exploration.
And ideas.
Okay. Oh, accepting of ideas. Okay. Another way to say that is embracing new ideas.
And as you were saying, from different practices, writing and meditation,
Kind of stylistic.
dance and yoga, and just, I think one thing that was part of the original mission statement was the environment, and that got dropped out when we decided it was going to be specifically an art center. But we are all very concerned about our environment. So I would somehow, if we could, maybe not even the word environment, but somehow keep the natural.
How do you attach how would you attach the natural environment? Just scrolling down to the why statement. How do you
Keep
attach
asking
that?
me all these hard questions.
Well, that's my job. That's my job.
Yeah.
So I keep it real. So how do we?
The one nice thing too is that's kind of unique about Encinitas, we have this terrific weather, so we can be outside. So that's like a building. You can maybe have it be like a building without walls, but it's also a thought, a place for thinking and creating without boundaries.
Oh, thinking and creating without boundaries. Love it. Very cool. Any other thoughts?
I'm sorry, I did not know that this was happening, and I don't have one bit of energy in my whole body to even
Okay.
think of it.
Got it. Okay.
Well, you did a good job the last time, so
Yeah.
don't worry.
I guess I'm just frustrated because I looked all over the website and I couldn't, and I found an agenda, but I didn't understand that it was a workshop.
Oh,
And so I came into this blind, and I thought, well, I'll be done by 6. So I'm just kind of
got it.
not in a mood right
I'm so sorry. Well, you'll never know when you'll turn. And all of a sudden have an idea.
One of us is going to say a word, and you'll respond to it, and then you'll be leading the pack. So that's my prediction.
Any other thoughts? And then we can start rallying. We figure out which one's the most powerful how to get to our vision. Any more thoughts? I mean, this is really good list. Unique experiences in an old school happenstance, which is very unique.
Happenstance.
Open to happenstance.
Change makers.
A view to future of the arts, inspirational, a view to inspiration, a view to aspirations, honoring the past, embracing the future. That's very cool. Engaging the public and artists, so it's going to be engaging, is a good way to our vision to empower open creative learning and development. People becoming change makers, expressing oneself, authentic expression, inquiring into something deeper. Probably somewhere you didn't know you'd go unless you had the experience. That's attached to many of the stories we heard. Mm-hmm. Exploration, receptivity of ideas, thinking and creating without boundaries. Really good house.
You try to float something past you that kind of trying to tie some of these together. I don't know if that's, the next step or.
Yeah,
if we're
sure.
You go for it.
Let's go.
So I wrote down embracing inspiration, history, and the power of self-discovery.
Okay, let's get it down. Let's put a space between the two, and we're going to start riffing here a bit on what it might be the vision. Mm-hmm. So embracing, what was it?
Oh, embracing inspiration, history, and the power of self-discovery.
Okay.
Nothing about the view in there, but.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the history part, I like that. I don't know if it needs to be explained more, if it's sort of self-evident that this is, more or less a historic site in Encinitas, because by virtue of the school having been there for so long. But anyway, so
A self-inquiry is self-inquiry. Sometimes
Yeah.
is also a word that I like, as opposed to self-discovery, because that,
Okay.
Yeah.
that sort of.
So maybe add that to our list that we got going up there.
Yeah.
It's self-inquiry.
Yeah.
Okay. Self-inquiry.
rethinking, yeah, you could even sub that in that sentence at the bottom. But
Yeah. So here's the way you want to think about this sentence. So something is we're aspiring here. We have a vision here, and this of how we're going to do things. So you might want to say, we will embrace inspiration, history, and the power of discovery.
okay,
It's active, and we're doing it.
yeah,
So, and that can speak to, and the reason why I chose that, and you can choose something else, is rather than saying the building is, or the staff is,
Right.
we is kind of both.
yeah, that makes sense. Do you need to say if we're doing it rather than something happening in the future? Do you have to say will? Can you just say we embrace?
You
or-
state it as though you already are, even though you're not yet.
right. So we rather than we will embrace, we could say we embrace.
Or you could say we are embracing.
We are embracing. Okay.
Or we embrace. You state it as though it's real now, and that becomes your guiding light for vision of
Right.
how to get to your why.
Right. Okay.
How about we're embracing inspiration, honoring our history and the power while.
Yeah, let's get that down. So
while
we are
well, of course, we're embracing two things then.
we are embracing. How did you say it?
We are inspiring, honoring our history, and embracing the power of self-discovery.
We are inspiring, honoring our history, and embracing. I missed the last part.
The power of self-discovery,
The power of self-discovery.
or inquiry, expression.
Which is best for you?
I think inquiry is better than
We
expression.
already have expression, yeah, in the first one.
Okay. Yeah. So these are all what I would call, they're all vision statements that have multiple elements to them. The one that you just
reflecting our history.
say it again.
We could be reflecting our history.
Okay, let's type it as new instead of. Okay, so we are reflecting our. Don't. Let's not change it. Just to add a new one. So we are reflecting our history.
As we inspire
As-
and embrace the power of self-discovery, self-inquiry.
Self-inquiry. Okay, so what I'm pointing out is that if you chose one, you would just choose one sentence, and that has a lot of elements in it. That has
Yeah, it's too much.
reflecting the history. Well, it's got essentially three. It's got we're reflecting our history, and we are inspired as we embrace the power of self-inquiry. It's got some house, and it's inspirational in terms of vision. So. Well done. And then now we need to find out the one that's the most powerful how to get to our why. So you always want to judge your how. If we did that, does it get us to empowering community and cultivating artistic, what was the last word? Expression? Is that what it does? So that's how you proof if your how is the right how. Any other ideas to get up there?
I'm working on one, but
Okay, awesome. And then if we could just move down so that we can see our brainstorm there. So we have a lot of ingredients that could be put into a vision. There's a lot up there. Think about what are the hows that are very specific to empowering community?
I really like what you said about them saying fun was part of it. I don't know that fun is the word, but I think happenstance is a magical word because you're not just having fun.
Yeah.
You're open to something unique presenting itself
Without prejudging
and
it.
without saying, oh, that's fun. It doesn't have to be fun to be a really good, positive, happy experience. You don't have to chuckle about it.
It could be
It can be inspiring. It can be
explorative,
enthusiastic. It can
surprising.
surprising. Yeah, I love that word happenstance.
Okay, so does anyone have an idea how to incorporate a happenstance into a vision? Or is there another idea, and then you work on that one, and we'll come back to you.
Just to circle back to what you were asking about earlier, how some of the ideas that would serve the mission statement of empowering people, and going back to what was mentioned earlier about change makers. I mean, that's a empowering idea that people can become, can make a difference through what they do at this art center. So, and I think we worked a little bit of that into the ideas at the bottom, but yeah.
Can you think of a way to make it more intentional to get that in there?
Yeah, I'm thinking. I haven't
Yeah.
quite come up with it yet. But
And it helps to write it down. It really does. It helps it if you clarify, get it on paper, and you're happy with it, and then suggest it so we can all look. so now you can see the why as you're working on it. I love it. Perfect.
I also learned a little Microsoft trick right there, too.
You did.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to learn. Do you feel empowered? That was kind of happenstance.
Should we start this off by saying Pacific View is?
You know, you could. You could. And then also, you know, I was trying to work that out in my head what you would choose, and you could. But then I also thought that it's instructive to the staff who's doing the programming. So I thought maybe we was more appropriate, but yes, you could. You could say, a Pacific View is inspiring, honoring our history, and embracing the power of self-inquiry. You could say that. So it's flexibility.
Pacific View is a creative space that empowers opportunities of happenstance and
So Pacific
outside the
View
box. Happenstance and serendipity
is a place that,
is a place that empowers opportunities.
But we already have empowers.
we'll let her get through it, and then
Okay.
we can edit. So
Opportunities of happenstance and serendipity.
of happenstance and serendipity. Okay, yeah, and then that's right. You probably don't want to use the same word because you're trying to, it's almost like you never use the word when you're defining
The word,
the
yeah.
word. So it's the same when you describe your how, your vision usually doesn't have your why,
Well, Pacific View could be a space that
or is a space,
is the space.
is a space. We want to do it like, we want to state it like it's now.
Is a creative space that encourages opportunities of happenstance, welcomes. I mean, there are lots of words besides empower.
Get the ones you want, and then we'll put them down.
Isn't a passive word a thing that you would never use?
Say it again.
A passive word like is, I've always been told never to use a passive word in writing anything or in vision statements. So
Like
I'm
there
wondering,
are,
are
yeah,
is,
there are, yeah, you don't,
That's why I'm saying
Can.
that it's
Yeah.
almost implied. So I think there's a better way to do it.
yeah, that's why she's got the subject and not
Yeah.
a there. So passive doesn't have a subject, and that's why it's passive. So as long, you're good as long as you have Pacific View doing the action.
Yeah, as long as you, I mean, I think you could just go straight from, take out that, lop that part of the sentence off and go straight into it.
Can you give us an example of what you'd put up there?
No, the only thing I would, I mean, I'm sorry, my brain is spent. If I would have seen the agenda, I would have been sick tonight. The only thing I can think of is all those windows in that building, and that you're looking through a window into the opportunities that the building can provide with a broad program that accommodates people. So that, you know, that's, I'm trying to come up with something for that, but my brain, I have to go home and work for 2 more hours tonight.
How about
I've been
let's
working
just
since
get
5.
a, can
I
I
like
just
the window
captivate, yeah.
metaphor.
Let's
Yeah,
just
the window
captivate what you
metaphor,
got.
that's
So
terrific.
can we
Yeah.
say, and we'll just say the building for now. The building provides a window to,
Different, a broad spectrum of artistic opportunities. So essentially,
a broad
letting the
spectrum
people-
of artistic opportunities.
letting the people have a little glimpse into something they may have not seen.
Yeah.
And so I think that because of the architecture and because of the metaphor of the old school and what we're working with, it would be interesting to play off of that because I was working with an HR department for a company, a pharmaceutical company, and they wanted to offer, get the people to educate themselves in different things. And so if you give them a window and they can look a little bit, then they're going to open that door.
I love it.
And so it's just kind of not put together right.
Yeah, but you've got the concept that it can be shaped by other people. So perfect. The
Pacific
building provides a
View-
window to a broad spectrum of opportunity.
Pacific View provides the window.
So we're going to write this. So Pacific View provides the window.
And multiple windows. windows.
The
Because
windows,
there's-
okay, the windows, and
Because
then,
there's tons of them there.
and Commissioner Lees, do you have this one written down?
No, I was just kind of rephrasing how she was saying. I love this idea of playing off the name of Pacific View and
View and
bringing
window.
in the architecture that is the windows, because that's the one thing you really notice about that place, are those gorgeous windows. I was so glad when they were able to save the windows. Save the windows. And to have that be what we're doing is giving people the opportunity to see something new
Windows
or
of,
see in a new way. Or
So our
window-
building-
windows of possibilities?
Windows, the window of possibility.
Our building provides windows into possibilities.
I hadn't, I was just writing something down when you were saying that, and it doesn't actually reference,
Our buildings provide windows to opportunities.
it doesn't reference windows specifically, but it is kind of tying in that idea of views. And also somebody mentioned boundless. I like the boundless idea, that it's just limitless how much you can learn and create. Can I?
Yeah, let's
this
go.
is kind of playing off of what we have up there now, but I had, we embrace inspiration, honor our history, and celebrate a spirit of self-inquiry that's as boundless as the views.
And celebrate a,
Spirit of self-inquiry that's as boundless as the views. But as I was writing that, you were talking about windows, and I really like that idea too. So
yeah.
it's, I think it's kind of playing off some of the same ideas, but doesn't include that metaphor of the windows.
Maybe can you take out that and is and as? I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
Because it seems like it's a little bit
just
of a
copy and
run-on.
paste and then adjust. So copy and paste, and then we'll say, we always want to keep what we have there instead of edit. So, and then so there we go. Spirit of self-inquiry, as boundless as the views. Wow, that's kind of cool. Okay.
But as I say, the windows, as a metaphor, I like how concrete that is. So I don't know if there's a way to sort of modify that, or I don't know what other people think, but.
So this is how. So how you proof this is you say, okay, so how do we empower community to artistic expression? We embrace inspiration, honor our history, and celebrate a spirit of self-inquiry as boundless as the views. And then if that is the how that's unique to this building, then that's it.
That doesn't seem quite as sparkling. I like it, but it doesn't sparkle.
The vision is more targeting than sparkling.
Yeah, I think it hits it all, like the inspiration, the back history, and celebrating what can be, and then also, but incorporating the word views because it's specific view, and it's right next to an awesome view. I like the sentence.
Other thoughts?
If we want to bring back in the windows, we could say
Okay, new sentence.
Pacific View
Pacific view
provides a window,
provides a window,
provides windows,
provides windows,
or provides, windows of inspiration
of inspiration. Got it.
and the opportunity of self-inquiry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking to you for inspiration here. I'd like something a little more spiritual come in there.
That's pretty good.
Inquiry. But we also want it to be productive. So we're providing inspiration and opportunity.
You have to decide if productive is a differentiation for this building, for your why. Because productive teams, it sounds more pay to play.
I
Like-
see, yeah. You don't have to have an end product,
Everyone's going to produce something.
right?
You're just trying to
I'm-
nail down the freedom of that expression.
Inquiry
Just wondering, self-creativity?
or happenstance.
So what- Do you want to do a new sentence?
Sure.
Okay, here we go.
because Inquiry just sounds a little scientific. My husband's a scientist, I hear. So,
So would you say Pacific View provides
Self-
windows of inspiration, and then you're going to change the rest?
yeah, I was just wondering about the self-inquiry, changed it to a self-creativity.
Or spirit of discovery, or
Okay, so Pacific View provides the window of inspiration and spirit of discovery.
Does
that do it for you?
Opportunity of,
Do you like the opportunity? You want to keep that?
and what did you say?
I
You
would
said
just,
spirit of,
discovery, I would just address it,
spirit of,
suggesting that as a,
Or maybe it's
Substitute for-
opportunity for self-discovery?
creative discovery?
Opportunity for creative discovery. Okay, so we're just trying things on. We're taking clothes off the rack, and we're just trying them on. And just like you did
That's
last
hard.
time, when you get the right fit, you're going to go, oh, man, this feels good. Thank you so much.
One question.
Look at that. Thank you.
Is it important to include the name of the, I mean, it's going to be in the context of when this is used, I'd imagine it's going to be used in the context of where it'll be clear what we're talking about. So you don't necessarily need to have the name in the vision statement or.
The name of the building?
Yeah.
You don't
or the-
necessarily, but to Commissioner Campbell's point, you don't want to be passive. You want to have
Right.
something doing the action.
Right. Good.
How about opening windows of artistic opportunity with engaging programming for everybody?
Opening windows of, what's the next one?
Artistic opportunity
Opening windows of artistic opportunity
through engaging programs for everybody.
for everybody.
We can all go home now.
Opening windows of artistic opportunities through engaging programs for everybody. So then you might want to have like what's doing the action. You might, but yes, that's powerful. Yeah.
It's very powerful.
This is the artistic is twice. Just being
yeah.
picky, but
There's-
that's all.
I mean, I think opening the windows is really important because people have blinders, like your daughter that likes the math.
Or creative. I mean, if you don't want to, I love the word artistic, but if you don't want to repeat it, we can just say creative. I'm so sorry. That's my mom. So sorry.
Maybe it's not artistic opportunity.
So copy and
Opening
paste.
windows to ignite artistic passion.
Oh, she's on fire.
Okay, so copy and paste.
You get me hungry. I'm like, to ignite artistic passion.
Opening windows to ignite artistic passion.
Yeah.
And
By offering engaging,
Or
Programs.
through.
huh?
You had through before. You want by engaging or through engaging?
Through is probably better because it's less passive, right? Yeah, I just hate passive. when I went to college, I couldn't use a passive word in an essay.
Yeah,
I had to be taken out.
you got dinged for that.
UCSD did not like it.
No. So through engaging programs, so let's get rid of offering. So through engaging programs. And then would it be okay to say we are opening windows? To refer to the building and staff and the people who are there?
If you can think of how to just say it without the word "are," right?
Just
Well, as long as
we
you have
open-
we, it's not passive.
We open
open.
windows.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't necessarily say we are. We open windows.
We open windows.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
open windows.
We open windows to ignite artistic passion through engaging programs.
Well, that's
Boom.
wonderful.
That's a vision.
Reaching
That's a
can
vision
we-
to empower.
programming
I like it.
and community,
So are we copying and pasting and adding?
yes.
Well, I think you need to
Okay,
talk
so
about
say the whole
broadening the
sentence.
scope of.
Well, that's
a
what I was
person's
thinking,
vision.
is that we open windows to ignite artistic passion through engaging programs and somehow bring in community.
But then it could be a little bit run-on, like a run-on sentence.
But you wanted to bring in, the element you wanted to bring in is that there's openness or there's,
Well, it's
Okay.
not just programming, it's an opportunity to be community.
because we're
Immersive,
empowering community is
through
the
immersive
why.
arts,
So we can have,
Permissive arts.
or immersive,
Immersive
Immersive.
arts.
we
through
can,
immersive programming.
Through engaging programs in immersive arts. Does that help?
Yeah.
Go to where you were going?
Or could you just say through.
Okay,
no,
Commissioner Lisa say, yes, that's where I wanted to go. You're really helping us get words.
Is there a way that we can,
I told you, we just
Yeah.
have to feed her before we let her come in.
Yeah.
My dinner's like
throwing her
halfway
some
cooked, sitting
peanuts
there,
in.
ready to get.
is there a way we can,
Got the stuff, you know.
can we highlight some of our favorites to like narrow it down, maybe?
Yeah.
color-
What do you want to highlight? Do you like, you want to highlight the last one?
The last one is a good one to highlight.
Okay. We're doing a little highlighting.
And
I like
the first one,
Okay. Gonna highlight
well,
that one?
I don't know. I'll just, yeah, give that a. We can color code it, like maybe like first, second, third choice or something like that.
Yeah. So you picked two. Does anyone else have a favorite? Does anyone have a favorite of the two that are highlighted?
Well, I like the bottom one best, but
Okay.
can we have more than one? You had said we can have more.
Yeah, you said
Well,
three.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well, no,
three's a
so-
good one. Good
So
number.
so let me clarify. You've got three elements already in one statement.
Oh, okay.
You wouldn't want to have three statements. You want to have one vision, but it has more than one element. Does that
we're-
make sense?
So you're saying we're going to choose one sentence, basically?
Yeah, you're going to choose one sentence that has the hows to get to our why.
do we want to include the opportunity for not just education, but personal
Development, discovery.
personal discovery and education? That, okay, so I have to go outside and open. Windows to ignite artistic.
So while she's thinking about it, what were you going to say?
I really like Vicky's, the one at the bottom. My one tiny thing is, I wonder if there's I just being I don't know, I think there's a little bit of a mixed metaphor between windows and ignites. I wondered if there was another verb, because I really like ignite as a verb. And
Reflect?
It's very powerful, but if there's,
Reflect or?
yeah, maybe
So
something.
copy and paste the last one, and how would you?
Play off of each other as part of the problem.
So copy and
Yeah.
paste, and then we're going to, we open windows that reflect artistic passion?
You want to spark it.
Yeah. I don't know, and maybe that's.
You gotta turn it on.
Almost hate to lose that. Yeah, it's got to be something powerful. So maybe maybe it's,
Ignite.
we don't need to worry about
Ignite
mixed
is
metaphors, but
it's wonderful. I really like
Ignite.
Ignite.
You got to get it to flip.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so copy and paste the Ignite one and bring it down, but we have the reflect in there in the record that that was an option. We really want to know the story of getting here, you know?
Can we have this new one say, to open windows, we open windows to ignite personal and artistic passions through engaging programs and immersive arts?
What is the difference between the engaging programs and the immersive arts?
Well, the immersive arts, I believe, would be something like yoga, something where it's,
But that's also a program.
Right.
it would be a programming. That
Yeah,
would
like
be-
I-
But they were offering programs, but we're also offering opportunities.
Right, then we should just say that, because I think that's
Maybe we
slightly
should say
confusing. Yeah,
opportunities, yeah.
Through immersive programming,
yeah, just
immersive art programming.
immersive, engaging, and accepting. You know, what was that word you used? Like, just receptive?
Try not to be kitchen sink. Try to be things that are needed for your why. What's the most important language for your why?
Engaging is.
Okay, so engaging programs or engaging
Programs.
engaging in immersive programs?
Yeah,
Okay, so we're gonna lose,
yeah.
I just copy and paste, and then we're gonna take out arts, right? And we're gonna put engaging in immersive programs.
We already
So
have
lose the
arts.
last three words, or do it however you think is best. Programs, there you go.
Just one little thing. This is a little unusual, but I just received a text from Commissioner Fox, who is home ill. Hello. And texted the word uplift. I think that was her suggestion, which, I like the word, so I just wanted to share that from her.
Okay. How would you incorporate that?
Thank you, Katie.
Right.
Poor thing.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was, I'm guessing maybe that was meant as a possible substitute for ignite, uplift personal. I'm not sure.
So what's the word again? Sorry.
Uplift.
Uplift.
Yeah.
So you think it's we open windows to uplift personal artistic passion?
Yeah, I'm kind of bringing this secondhand, but
Yeah, totally.
she wanted to throw that into the mix. So
Okay, well, it's up there.
yeah, great.
How about transform?
Okay, so copy and paste, and we're going to do transform. So instead of ignite, transform personal and artistic passion. Just trying it on. Just try it on. And then why don't we lose the highlighting altogether, just so we're not confused. No color. There you go. Okay. Okay, so where do you think we are? Now, it's okay at this point, instead of inventing, you could just pull one down that you say, hey, I think this is it.
Yeah.
Just pull it down, the one you like the most, and we'll put it at the last one, and then we'll all go, okay, does that one fit?
Take out, for the last one, take out artistic passion.
Okay, so
'cause
copy and paste.
There's already artistic.
Okay, so we're gonna lose
Artistic
artistic.
passion,
We're gonna lose that, and it's gonna be transform personal.
personal something.
We open windows to transform.
Creativity,
So instead of personal creativity through
Personal-
engaging.
personal creativity.
Okay, transform personal. So again, add personal before creativity through engaging in immersive programs. Okay?
That leaves out community, the community experience.
And community is in your why. Empower community.
So that balances it out. That adds personal, because it doesn't say anything about, well, it presumes cultivate artistic expression would be personal, but that's a presumption.
What's the reason for adding the personal? Because it's more of a community. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that
But
adds anything.
the why, yeah, I don't see, I agree, I don't think we should add community here.
No, I
Is there a
meant,
way to, like, kind of have like a compound sentence in a way? Like, we open windows to transform personal creativity through engaging in immersive programs by, and then try to combine something from above to it.
So you definitely want to not get in a what. So you want to just, this is this
Oh,
powerful
so
how. So like, don't think kitchen sink. You're not trying to be all inclusive. You're trying to be, this is how we differentiate between other community spaces.
And we're empowering the community, so if we added community, it would be, we open windows to transform personal creativity through engaging and immersive programs that reflect
Oh, yeah,
community.
that reflect the.
That uplift the community.
So just add that uplift to community.
Katie's got to have her say.
It's a lot.
Yeah. I like all the ideas. In some ways, it feels as though we're getting a little bit away from just the simple power of that original statement that Commissioner Campbell.
Which one is it
Yes.
that you like that you want to bring down? And we'll just copy and paste it and bring it to the bottom.
It was the one about we open windows to ignite artistic passion. I was going to also suggest instead of ignite, we could say inspire. We had that earlier. I don't know if,
Yeah, that, we open windows to ignite artistic passion.
That's the one
I
right
like
there.
that.
Yeah.
I like that one.
That one? The one that has immersive arts? Or the one above it?
No, the one opening windows to ignite artistic passion through engaging programming.
programs.
right where the cursor.
Okay, right there.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to
Yeah.
copy and bring that down. Okay, so right now, that's the one that you think is the most powerfully describes our how and makes it unique.
yeah, it just, I like the other ideas. It gets hard when we kind of get in the weeds of all the different things we want this to talk about. At some point, I start to feel as though it dilutes the power of the statement when we're trying to be all inclusive.
It
That's
kind-
not to discount the importance of those ideas, but
And if you scroll all the way back to the top, I think you'll see that your idea and your flow is really happening. So if you look at some of these words here, a view to inspiration, aspirations, future to the arts, happenstance, expressing oneself, authentic expression, exploration, receptivity of ideas, thinking and creating without boundaries. Now go to where we ended up at the bottom. All of that really is, it's encapsulated. All those thoughts are there in we open windows to ignite artistic passion through engaging programs.
And
I
then
think it
probably.
should be programming, because we're going to be doing more than presenting programs, classes. There will be all kinds of programming going on there.
Is there a
Excuse
better
me.
word than through?
With.
With?
I guess. It's not that much better. I'm trying to think of a word that's not like,
Cherry Bear, may I make a suggestion?
yes,
Yes.
please.
So something came to me, which while Ignite has a lot of power, if you're looking for something to connect to the windows, it could be inviting serendipitous creativity.
We open
I like-
windows to exciting,
To invite or ignite serendipitous creativity. It brings in your happenstance.
Yeah, serendipitous is a
engaging
kind of a nice
program.
fancy word. That's a good one.
It's also got some fun in it.
Through engaging programming.
through engaging programming. That is a how. And it really describes your programming has got to be really draws people in, is what you're saying. I think that's what I perceive.
And then that would, what would be really neat is like some kind of and the artists over there could have a picture of a window, like, right, in the brochure.
There you go.
Graphic designers love all sorts of metaphors.
Right.
Good metaphor. It fits the
Yeah,
building.
thank you I was going to say thank you to Colette for adding that. I'm not 100% clear on this serendipitous here. I know that's been talked about, but I feel as though there's a kind of a mix of, in terms of what's going to be going on at the Arts Center, kind of a mix of serendipitous and intentional, activity. I guess I'm not 100% sold on that being a linchpin of,
Like the differentiating how.
yeah,
The one that
exactly.
really is meaningful to the why.
Mhm.
I
I mean, I'm open to discussion on that because maybe I'm just not understanding how serendipity looms large. And I mean, obviously that's something that is part and parcel of artistic creation, but I don't know. To include it in this statement, I'm not sure exactly how it rises to that level. So,
I agree with you, because in my writing experience, sometimes the hardest thing to do is to take out a phrase or a word that you just absolutely love, but it just doesn't seem right for where you're putting it. And I agree with that. I think what reads best to me, clearest, is we open windows to ignite artistic passion through engaging programming.
Okay, let's bring that one down. And with that, someone who doesn't have a dog in the fight, I'll just say, strictly as observing, that sounds like a good way how to empower community. It really describes a very unique pathway to how. We want to open this window to really set it up, like to launch who you are, in your passions, launch your passion. Is really what it speaks to me, is what it says is you're doing. So if that's what you wanted to accomplish, I think that you did.
yeah. Just slightly playing devil's advocate, artistic passion. I mean, there's passionate art, there's contemplative art. So, but I mean, really, we do want people to be fired up. So.
Fired up.
I think what we're trying to, that reason I said that was because some people don't think they have any art background. And so when you show them, then they might get engaged, and then now they've got a passion. So it's not a style of art, it's a personal, it's a draw. It's
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I can see
bringing them
that.
and it's pulling them towards, I'm not sure I love the ending that I came up with, which is through our engaging programming. I feel like,
Enriching, how about enriching?
I mean, engaging, I think, ties better back to the passion, because the passion is engaging you. So I don't know if that's the right word, but I mean, I like the immersive as well, because you're in the thick of it. You're in the art center, and you're surrounded by art. And so trying to figure out how that building and being inside of that building would facilitate the ignition of a artistic, passion in a person that might have not gone there.
What a great question. That's a great question. So what's the, because when I'm listening to you, I'm saying, okay, well, the engaging program, that how is done through opening a window that ignites an artistic passion. So if that's not the right fit, you got to come up with something else. But if you say, if our how engaging program does create this ignition and provides that view to really open someone's mind, then maybe it is.
Maybe the word programming could be tied back to this school, some sort of way to pull your original idea about, making it academic. I guess programming is academic. I'm too much of an artist. I mean, maybe that's it. I don't know.
Education is programming, or programming is education, or which?
Yeah,
I-
TV's programming too.
I have another thought to relay from Commissioner Fox, and I think this might actually add something, but you can see what you think. So,
Are we typing it out?
yeah, it's essentially that last sentence with 4 words added.
So we're going to copy and paste.
Yes.
Okay.
And it might actually address some of what we're talking about here, but so ignite artistic passion and uplift the community through engaging programming. So that gets in the community aspect, or the igniting artistic passion is maybe more about igniting one individual's kind of artistic passion, and then this would add the community aspect. So
What
Again,
this
that's-
says to me is that there's 2 hows here where, that our engaging programming is going to do 2 things. It's going to open a window to ignite artists, but also uplift the community.
Chair Haber, could
Yeah.
I make just one suggestion? So you have the word artist in the mission statement, and I think that if you were able to just delete that word in here, it would just be a little bit more encompassing.
Ignite passion.
Ignites passion, and
Okay,
take the
so
word artistic out.
So take out artistic, ignites passion, and uplifts the community through engaging programming. Try it on for size. What does it feel?
I think it comes off, even though we do have the context of artistic being, and I feel like so you need something there, creative passion.
Creative.
Yeah, creative
be-
passion, because passion alone is,
Yeah,
But that's in.
we go into a different area here. But, I mean, yeah.
No, we don't have create in there. Okay.
Okay, so how does this feel? Which one do you like best? It's okay to bring one that you've already done in the past and say, yeah, I kind of want to go back to this, because this is the moment where we're kind of landing the plane. You're getting very close. What do you like best?
I don't think that it's necessary to uplift the community, because I don't think that that's really what it would be doing. And I think you need to use artistic, because it's a passion that some people have a tendency not to be able to access. So I think you need to quantify the passion. So I don't think that, and I also think that the shorter the better.
So we're going to go 3 up and copy and paste and bring it down?
I'm still going with mine,
Okay.
not changing it.
Okay, there we go. That's what we need to hear. Any other thoughts? Anybody says, yes, I agree, we need to stop here?
I agree.
I like it too.
I like it a lot.
Okay, we got 2 and want to stop here.
I feel very comfortable with it.
I just would like to hear because I'm not clear on how you're defining the difference between artistic and creative in this context. I'm just trying to be also
Yeah.
receptive to this idea that we don't want to repeat things. So
Yeah.
yeah, the
So-
artistic, like, Travis, right? That's right.
Because one thing I like about using creative is that I think, we're talking about members of the public who maybe don't think of themselves as artists, but will be engaging in creative pursuits. And it feels as though it's more
Pursuits.
all-embracing.
Oh, I like that word, pursuits.
Serendipity. I just threw that out there.
I would go
Um,
with creative over artistic.
Programming
with that?
feels
Okay.
like
I don't know if it's better or not, I think.
through
but I like
engaging
it.
Okay.
So we're working on creative right now, so we'll pause that, put a pin in that one.
I think the sentence that we have, but subbing artistic for creative.
Okay, so copy and paste, and we're going to sub creative for artistic,
Yeah.
so.
Because any more words in this, it's sort of, we're losing the real punch in, flowery language, but I just think that this is very strong. The
Powerful
way
vision.
it's- Yeah, and it encompasses everything that we want to.
Yeah,
Tells you how we're going to do it, how we're going to empower the people.
it's got a nice flow to it. I like the alliteration of passion and programming and,
And I think programming also alludes to the educative, academic part to it, right?
Yeah.
So we're
that's a
not,
good point,
it's
yeah.
not a park where everybody can just come and do whatever they want to do.
They'll be instructed, they'll be learning something.
That's good.
That's why I like, initially I cringed a little bit with the word, but I think it makes sense.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I guess it'll grow on me.
You think we're there?
Yeah. Person who didn't have any energy came up with something.
That
we
happened
love,
last time,
so-
just a newsflash.
We can count on Vicky. She always comes through.
Yes,
done.
that's pretty special. Okay, well done. And so the way you think about this is that you've got your why and your how, and I know we can't vote on it tonight, unfortunately, but you got your why and your how. They are instructive to your what. So what you do in the building has everything to do with why and how. Those things are very defined. They're both very powerful. They're inspirational, and they will be a great guide for what gets done in that building. So well done.
All right,
Can we?
thank you.
I'm gonna clap for you.
When we present this to the whole commission, maybe we can present both of those and say we saw merit in both of these, and that they both really do what it is we're trying to.
Say more. I'm not sure I
The
understand what you.
last, the last two.
The last
One
two
was,
hows, the
Ignite
last two
Artistic
visions?
Passion or Ignite Creative Passion, whichever one.
That might be actually a good
think
idea,
both of
because
those are-
sometimes when people weren't a part of the process, they want to kind of go back. So if you bring two options and say, hey, you decide, it gives them somewhere to go.
I feel like they're part of it.
Is,
Right. Because they are creative folks, by the way, They are all sorry they were part of it.
Because it's called the Art Center, they might want arts in the vision,
We'll see.
but creative, I think you're walking such a tight little line, like, some people might feel more comfortable being creative than they definitely don't feel like an artist. So I think that was the reason, that was a good point that you made, so, I mean, yeah, let's give them both.
Great,
Okay.
that's a
To choose
great
a word.
plan. That's a really great plan, and it sounds like people are also watching. So I think you'll hear about the process via text or in person around at the grocery store, so.
well, they probably turned us off by now.
Okay, you think? Okay. Well done. Very good job. I want to say, I've seen a lot of these processes done much more painful than this. So well done. I think you landed on some very powerful things. And I think when you present it to your peers, I think they'll also feel the power of it and the accuracy. So well done.
Thank you for the guidance and the good counsel and everything else.
Yeah, thank you. You know how to do it.
All right, thanks, everybody. So we'll look forward to voting on that. We'll have 2 months to come back and remember what we did tonight. But all right, so we've got 15 minutes, more or less, and a few more items. I feel as though we can probably get through before 7, so we'll try for that. So we are moving on to number 10, the action items receiving the Pacific View Arts Center City Report.
There is not a lot of visual change. A lot of what's going on in the construction progress is kind of behind the scenes. They're getting a lot of the HVAC, a lot of the guts that are going to make the building work prepared. So all of the original windows have been stripped. They don't look a lot different than they were because they've been working on finding the right glass and getting them stripped and getting them ready to be painted. But a lot of those things behind the scenes are all working working well. The project is on schedule. That's the most exciting part of it. In terms of programming, we are continuing to work on that tonight. Obviously, developing the mission and vision is part of that process. Fundraising, we're still continuing to research options. If grant making becomes, the ad hoc wants to focus on that, that would be another wonderful part of this process. I always attach these items to it because these were part of the original programming brainstorming that was helped define what was going to happen in the rooms, and then attaching those to the rooms themselves, just how they've been mapped out. When you get together in August, I would imagine there's going to be a little bit more visual change that you'll see to it. But in spite of it looking the same, it's all moving along really well.
Great, thank you.
Oh, one more thing.
One thing that I'd like to do once we come back into session right before the fall, we'll take a look at where we're at with construction, and we could organize a little field trip for you,
2 field trips. We can't take all 7 of you at the same time.
unless we agendize it. And so if we agendize it, we can. Otherwise, we can split you into 2 groups. Or
That
3
sounds great.
groups.
I really
That would be
appreciate
inspiring.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm trying to
I-
vision myself in the building as we were like creating this, so.
Yeah. Yeah, probably like other people have gone and peered through the fence, but you can only see so much, so. Well, thank you for that report. Are there any other questions or comments, or, no? Okay. So we'll move on to number 11. Commissioner member initiated agenda items. I don't know of any that we have, no? Okay, number 12. Oh,
So the next time we will for that.
I don't think that needs to be a commissioner-initiated item, though, right? It's going to be, you're talking about the voting on the vision statement, or?
The mission and vision statement will show up under, it'll be an action item on your August agenda.
Mhm.
Right. Is that what you had a question about, or? Okay, great. So that was number 12. Oh, no, we're on number 12. And did anybody, just to make sure, did anybody have any future agenda items to request? No? Okay. Looks like no. And 13, commissioners' reports.
I have
please.
some questions about that, like for 13. And, because I'm green, just like still learning the ropes and stuff.
Mhm.
At what point does an ad hoc present to the whole body? I was just wondering about that.
That would be in the work plan as you're going through. So when the work plan is agendized, which it usually is, it just wasn't tonight because of the workshop. When you get to that item, then you can report on the work that the ad hoc has done. When you get
Okay.
to that item within the work plan.
Okay, great.
So that'll be on the work plan will be on the August agenda.
Correct.
And we can talk about it then.
Okay, so then this summer, we have about 2 months, our ad hoc groups can get together, and if we can, and we can talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
about our
And
things.
thank you. You've been great about contacting us, those of us who were on the ad hocs with you, to
In
try to
my-
arrange
yeah,
something.
in my ad
Yeah.
hocs.
Yes, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's, I think we're free to do any and all
Okay.
of that,
So
as long as it's,
Yeah, so maybe if we do come up with something to share, we can do that.
absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I'll look forward to that. And I'm hoping we can get some times lined up and we can talk about things for those 2 ad hocs. So,
Okay,
yeah, that would be great. I think the proactivity on that is really appreciated. And I don't really, in terms of commissioners' reports, I think all of us, or most of us were at Art Night. I was here, and we had, there were only 2 things going on here, but we had, I think, when I left, there had been 50-some people, so it was a good turnout. And but I think that, Colette, you said there were 1,000 overall, right? So,
I don't have complete numbers for Saturday night just yet, but anecdotally, having gone around to all the sites, it felt very well attended.
yeah, great.
I'm looking forward to the next ones. I'm going to bring lots of people.
We did administer a few more surveys, so I think that was the last opportunity we'll have, right, for the Americans for the Arts.
We will have the opportunity at Bro-Am. We are actively working on that
okay.
one because that is on the 17th. But yes, we're dwindling down on that one.
Yeah, okay. Good. Any other reports? Anybody want to comment?
I attended the Cultural Tourism Committee meeting, and we had a presentation from Andrew Utt, who is at what is it called? I can never remember. It has a name.
Institute of Contemporary Art.
Institute of Contemporary Arts. And he did an analysis of from information that he could find about what has been done with the arts, progressing the arts in Encinitas. And he hasn't lived here very, very long, so he missed some things. But it was what he was doing was pointing out how significant in the past they have been, and how the opportunities for promoting the arts in the future. So
Yeah.
it was very interesting. And he brought a lot of figures from other places, all reflecting how beneficial it is to the community to have a good arts programming. And there was discussion, just general discussion about other things that are going on that are all in the programs going on all over the city. So
Right.
always an interesting meeting.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for being there. I know there's a lot of people and ideas flying around. So, anybody else? Okay, I think we are covered, and that is, I believe, the last agenda item. So going once, going twice. We will adjourn the meeting at 6:51 p.m. Thanks, everybody, for hanging in there.
6:51.